dust in the universe to the waters in the womb I surf. I'm the all in all, from the atoms that exist in the sun to the atom that's in Genesis 1. I'm the all in all, from the first king that walked this globe to the last black slave they stole. I'm the all in all, every living thing you see, all of those things exist in me. I'm the all in all, from the depths of the sea to Mount Everest. Allah in the flesh, most benevolent. This physical form born from melanin. When electrical thought sparked intelligence. Ain't nothing existing I don't exist in. From the clouds in the heavens down to this skin. If you're doing the knowledge, you can follow jewels. In both cases, the basis, water molecules. Rain, sleet, snow, hailstorms come together the same way that my cells form. You don't see it yet, hard to fathom still. It's A-like to the pyramids, how my atoms build. I existed as DNA when the earth formed, and my paternal lineage is from the firstborns. Holy Quran, Bible, I'm coded there. In a fine mist, you'll miss if you don't know the square. Yeah, on all four corners they seek the G, while trying to speak on me in secrecy. I created the earth as mother and daughter. The bones of the rock.
What y'all don't understand is that what makes a community classify as a ghetto. See, ghetto is not a word that got anything to do with poverty. Ghetto is a word meaning that people of the same ethnical background, social status, religious status, and, you know, pigmentation or whatever, live together. That word comes from out of Poland. Warsaw, the ghettos of Poland. Because all those people that was there was Polish people with the same ethnical background and everything else. So we are a lot of times dealing with ghetto, which is the name that they gave it. No, we dealing with poverty-stricken areas. How do areas become poverty-stricken areas? They become poverty-stricken areas because once all the commercial businesses move out, then there's no reason for the police to protect it as much. Because who pay higher taxes? The people with the stores, with the commercial property. So once the businesses leave, then that community becomes a what? Poor community, because there's no businesses in there. And crime starts to run rampant. And that's what happened in the, you know, the early 70s and everything when the gangs came about. The Tomahawks, the Jolly Stompers, the Black Spades, all that. And even amongst us, which I'm going to tell you in Cypress, the Black Messiahs, and then on my side, the Buccaneer Lords, the same side that ended up turning into the 18. Like I told y'all, this is not about that. The 18, the law team is a movement. It's a conscious mindset. It's being made and groomed from a certain cloth. Because I come out of all those scripts, the revolutionary script and everything. Because once I moved out there, we had to be on some revolutionary shit. Because the white boys outnumbered us. Y'all don't know what it was like going to 214 back then. Getting on the ABC, EFG. And riding there. And all doing hemlock. You know what I'm saying? Autumn, Eldridge Lane, where Linden Plaza, Mount Everest ended up being built. All that. If the bus gets stopped on anywhere on those blocks back then, them Whiteboy Gangs is coming out. And I used to tell the young dudes, and I think I went over there, some of this stuff I'm going to repeat in the course of, you know, my videos down the line, reiterated again. It was Spanish dudes in my building. You know what I'm saying? Papo and Cisco. You know, brothers and Papo And the younger brothers, shout out to Dave too. They, we on the bus, and I used to tell the young ones, by the time we get in the 5th, 6th grade, we know the runnings. Like, yo, get your head out the window. You know, young kids, they hanging all out the window, everything. So they stop us on Autumn between Sutter and Belmont. It's going down. White boys coming down out their little houses down the step, and they got belt buckles in their hand. See, I come from there. I even zip guns. But anyway, white boys coming down. They got the little zip guns, all that with them. They stop the bus. If you got your head hanging out that window, you're gonna get it. So my man Papo ain't pull his head in quick enough. They caught him. Bang! Belt buckle. He got a big ring around his eye, like Petey from the Little Rascals. Yeah, so we was going through it with them hardcore. So now we get on that third world shit. Ungawa, Black Power, Destroy, White Boy. I said it, I meant it, I'm here to represent it. I think even some of them gangbang niggas know that shit out on the West Coast, because we was all, that's when it was about, the Black Panther Party, Seminolese Army, all that. Everything was about, we now are uprising. We coming up with James Brown, say it loud, boom, boom, I'm black and I'm proud. Along with the Father, Almighty God of Law, giving our elder brothers the knowledge of self. And that's what caused it. One of the greatest brothers that ever came from Brooklyn. They got a movie in which he starred in. Our great brother at that time, when I was young growing up, and they was gang banging as tomahawks, him and his brother, I'm going to give a shout out, regardless of what way, and I'm going to call him by his righteous name and everything else, along with his government and his gangbang name. But anyway, our great brother, Arthur, whose name was Champ at that time, who plays in the education of Sonny Carson. And his brother, one of his brothers, whose name was Little Champ, that when he became a 5%, his name was Powerful. And that he was. And I'll tell you one of those stories later on down the line too. I'm just going to touch on it. And then when he went what route he chooses to go in life that was other than what we practice as being 5%ers, he said, go back to calling me by my government name, which is Octavius. And that's what was so strong about the 5% Nation of Guards and Earths back then. Because all the gangs in New York, whether they were Spanish or they was black, whether they was Latino or original or whatever, went that way. And most of the 5 boroughs. The only other nation that came about that was other than us, that came out of that gang era in New York City, was in the Bronx with the Zulu Nation and African Bambaataa in them. And I spoke with y'all too again about how we used to be with the Zulu Queens down on 42nd Street. Like I said, man, I'm like a walking encyclopedia when it comes to history of realness out here. Straight redeemed. Okay? So like I said, brothers like in our nation, Dr. God Latif, him and my other brothers that ended up, becoming our OGs and gave us all not just street knowledge, but knowledge of who we was as original people. Because we had names back then like Oba Femi and you know what I'm saying? The sisters was political. Shout out to TT. Shout out to Cookie Holmes. All them sisters wearing, you know what I'm saying, afros, dashikis, the little button with the rifle in the middle. That was orange, black, and yellow. Yeah, act like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? With Phil Marshall, Born Prince, known as Priest, all of them was gangbanging. Sugar Bear, you know, the original Cisco. That's Equan and Dirty Moe that ended up becoming mathematics. And got a sister named Dawn. Shout out to all y'all too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Puerto Rican Caucasian. I didn't even know Caucasian gave another great brother that grew up with me that I'm glad is home and is contributing, you know, to our nation on a large level. My brother Shakim. He was taught by Caucasian. You know, most of them brothers that was all gang banging somehow, some way, you know, a lot of them went to the penitentiary, got knowledge or whatever. You know, some of them didn't come back home with it, however it may be. But all them brothers changed from being gangbangers to the knowledge of something. And what was crazy back then, especially in Medina, you know, because of the gangbang mentality, that a lot when we first got knowledge with the lessons and everything like that, and the reason was so hardcore because brothers was waiting for you to slip up. And, you know, like they say, you get a universal beatdown. So I seen brothers, you know, they get it. And then later on, them same brothers that did it, they turn around and end up being whatever. So you can't, you know, judge people and point fingers and beat people up because of this, that, and the third, not knowing where you going to stand in the long run. You know? So we was going back and forth with them. And it was love in the community back then. My old earth and all the ladies in my building, Miss Wynn, Miss Farmer, you know what I'm saying? Miss Adrian, any of them, Miss Rush, Miss Southwood, Miss Kellum. Yeah, I know all these ladies because we was all like family. And guess what? Any one of them ladies could find me doing something wrong or something mischief, busting some lights, doing something I ain't got no business doing, and they could whip my ass, take me upstairs, and then my mother gonna whip my ass again. Not like these young girls out here now. You bring them there, they ain't teaching their kids nothing at home, no respect, no nothing. So you think I'm gonna let a little nigga just spit on me and curse at me any old type of way? You better teach him something at home. Cause I'm gonna be one of them old niggas gonna smack the shit out of him, bring him home, cause I wanna see his fucked up, excuse my expression, mother or father. Cause that's what's wrong in the black community now. It's no more of that. It's no more of us. When I started seeing young niggas shooting each other, first it started out the back against the side and the front and the this and the that. Then next thing you know, niggas are shooting each other in the same building, you know, the same floor. Like, wow. Just recently, I was going to do a joint when I seen it, and I thought it was something relating to Tut, because the cat was a Johnson, where when it came to find out, the dude that got killed outside of Grace Funeral Home, he was killed by his own cousin. Going to see their aunt's funeral. Family killing family at a funeral. This is still right out here in East New York, right where I buried my mother. They've been there forever, on the conduit. Few months back, So all these things have been lost in our community. When I first got there in 68, my man Dwayne with his older brother Dennis, I showed y'all in the picture. You seen the white dude and the other dude was standing next to him. They both looked like that, but no, Dwayne wasn't white. He just was high yellow. And I remember his father well. And his father grew up an orphan. And his father used to take us out to Canarsie to race cars, Aurora cars, at a spot called Buzzarama. Y'all know the East New York, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, man, history for days. But this is how the men work. You know, my man John Wayne Jr., his pops, Big John Wayne. We had a black John Wayne in our neighborhood that we respect. Never forget, shout out to my man Tony Vaughn, to his sister Wendy, Mr. Vaughn, 315. Every Saturday or whatever, he out there with us playing stickball. We played stickball. We played punch ball. We played stoop ball. We played Skelly. We played Coco Livio. We played Johnny on the Pony. We played Run, Catch, Kiss. We had fun as children. We went to the gas station on Euclid Avenue and stole the tires and rolled the tires back and set the tires up. I heard Hassan talk about, I was surprised that you grew up in that era, Haas, where you was getting the boards and hooking them up to the tires. And, you know, even back then, I had a Royce Union 10-speed bike with the sissy ball, purple, with all the little glitter in it and everything. Niggas used to want to rob me for that bike all the time. I got out the house early, or I had responsibility early, and my mom's put that on me. Like I said before, 6 years old, I got the key, first grade, to come into my house in Cypress, while my mother was out scrubbing floors for white people. And she'd rather me come in the house by myself than for me to be at somebody else's house where some old outlandish child molestation, you know what I'm saying, or any of them things. Because before I left Bed-Stuy, no bullshit, I ran into a situation like that. I never forget a lady. First, it was a lady named Miss Pauline. Now, I don't know if you still alive. You had your husband named Sonny. He was the first dude with the Dufonte, and they used to mess with that, what was that, that Magic 8 or whatever, that shit that used to stink in the green can when they want to do, yeah, Sonny was with that, tie up there, you know, when they were doing the process thing. Pauline, she was light-skinned and fine. Sonny was dark-skinned. You know, most of them was country boys, but they took care of their families. You know, and they had a uncle named, I'll never forget this fat black bastard, Richard, and he tried to take advantage, you know, of us. And I let my moms know, and my moms got me up out of there, you know. And before that, I went with another lady named Miss Tippy. Shout out to her. Her oldest son, Joe, he caught 25 for a body. That's the first time I knew cats was going to jail for murder. And he had a younger brother named Yammy, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I used to go to her house and she used to make me just sit still, even if I want to go to the bathroom. You know, I'd be pissing or whatever on myself sometime. My mother would wonder why. Now, I know my father was still alive because when my mother would go to take me to her house, I would start crying. And my father was there. He would say, yo, that lady is mistreating that boy because he's crying when, you know what I'm saying, you getting ready to take him over to his house. And my mother took me from over there as her with a babysitter. And the last lady I had was old lady, Miss Claudine or something like that. And she treated me like gold. I used to love her. And that was right before we moved out there. So by the time I got to Cypress, you know, and in the first grade, my mother decided to give me the key. That was the reason why. So nobody could take advantage of me. And I come in, my food be made, and I wait for my mother to get there. And, you know, everything was gravy. And I first learned to get on the bus at 8 years old and go out to Queens, you know, by myself. But for right now, I'm going to end this because my family down and they making all type of noise in the background. And, you know, it's late at night, so I got to respect that. So this is God in them streets. Once again, I need another 133 subscribers, you know, to get me to that 1,000 mark. And once y'all get me there, I guarantee y'all gonna say, man, we should have got the God there a long time ago because he got crazy content. But I'm not just giving it up just like that. No. Y'all got to get me there. Show me that y'all appreciate me. And most of all, most of these stories that I'm telling, like I said, is made for the young. I left out a lot in this one, but, you know, y'all got plenty of time. I'm going to be giving it to you. But this is mainly for y'all young hardheads out there, so y'all can learn something. Stop saying, oh, the OGs, you know, because there's only two paths, there's only two roads when you live in the street life. And that's a long prison term or a casket. You make your choice. This is God in the Street. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure y'all hit the share button. And I'm going to constantly keep coming back at y'all. Peace.